Hello, disc golf enthusiasts from around the world, and welcome back once again to MDG Media, one-stop shop for European disc golf here on YouTube. This is round 2 front 9 coverage of the 2025 Turku Open. This is our FPO lead card, and what an exciting weekend to follow up Worlds, Andrew.
Yeah, it's been a great tour stretch, really. I mean, especially the last few weeks have been insane. We got moving day from the final Elite Series event in Europe. Kind of sad it's coming to a close pretty soon, but we're going to rock it out and enjoy the last moments we got with you all. Thanks for being with us. Do what you can to support us. We appreciate it.
There is no doubt. Kicking off our lead card, Kaidi Allsalu, Prodigy sponsored player representing Estonia. She has very clean form on both the backhand and the forehand. Really no known weaknesses. She's strong on the green, and that's why she's here on the lead card.
Yeah, playing really well. We have Silva Saarinen as well, tied for that lead from MVP Discs. Oiti, Finland. Yeah, tons of talent and lots of success.
Another Estonian player, Anneli Tõugjas-Manniste, sponsored by Innova. You see the bright pink hair. That is part of her brand and also indicative of her fearless approach to the game.
Yeah, we have the young sensation, the phenom Iida, Lehtomäki, 15 years old. Just showed the world what she's got at the World Championships last week. And yeah, she's here again on the lead card. Pretty excited. We'll get it started off here on hole 1. It's a par 4, 191 meters. Pretty much just straight off the tee. Get yourself inbounds, get yourself in position, make a decision whether you want to cross the OB and into the green, or if you want to play it safe, you can just progress further down and take your par. Hopefully, if you can stay inbounds and keep it clean. It's a little bit windier today, I would say. Well, I guess for the FPO, it was pretty rough conditions yesterday. So a lot of rain and some wind, but windier today, dry at least. Quite humid, I would say also, you know. Some great trophies to be had here.
Time for the moving day lead card tee off. First on the tee with a score of 6 under par, representing Prodigy discs from Estonia, Kaidi Allsalu.
Kaidi going to get us started today as your tied first leader at 6 under. Hole 1 is a daunting one, Andrew. It does average 4.63 here on day 2. One of, if not the hardest hole on the course. Yesterday it was first hardest. Today it's the second hardest.
Interesting.
There's just a lot of OB combined with the wind, combined with the pressure of the first hole. It adds up.
With a score of 6 under par, representing MVP Disc Sports from Finland, Silva Saarinen.
Yep. Silva and Kaidi both shooting that 6 down, 995 rated first round. Silva was on pace to do much more, but slowed down at the very end, where Kaidi kind of picked up the pace at the end.
Silva hugs the right side OB, but much like Kaidi, finds herself inbounds on the fairway.
With a score of 4 under par, representing Innova from Estonia, Anneli Tõugjas-Manniste.
Anneli, a player who really tries to go above and beyond in terms of her physical fitness, her holistic well-being, tries to put all the pieces of an athlete together, and she gets her drive out there.
With a score of 4 under par, representing Innova from Finland, Iida Lehtomäki.
Iida at this point has strung together a series of podium finishes, but has not yet found a win this season in one of these major tournaments. She herself said in reflection of Worlds, she's hungry for it, and she's here this weekend to give it another step.
Yeah, consistently quality performances. She will get those victories, many in the future, without a doubt. with that skill set and the work ethic. And the love for the game. She seems to be just like really living for disc golf. Silva goes standstill. Second shot and just chips it up. Playing it for par now. Didn't get a ton of distance off the tee. It was a pretty strong headwind off the tee, and then it shifted from left to right there just before this lead card teed off. Some gusty winds today. We're going to see that. It's going to be a little bit tricky. And they will pick up as we move forward.
Nice upshot by Anneli. Kaidi looking to do the same over the OB. Gives it a lot of height. The turn here as well, making sure that she's not short, and she is anything but that.
Really?
Nice position.
Super good. Get yourself a birdie look on the, one of the hardest holes on the course. You're going to get strokes for sure. If you can get the 3 here, that's, almost 2 full strokes on the field. So, or you could chuck it in for the eagle. Wow.
Imagine this par 4, as I said, averaging way over 4, like 2.5, almost 3 strokes on the field with an eagle too.
Oh, that was pretty close. It was chain high, just a little wide right. And there, Silva's got about 6 meters left, maybe 7 for her par. Into a little bit of a headwind. Jams it home.
Kaidi now from a similar distance and right on the pole.
Such a good birdie to start your round. Big statement right there. She's here to win.
Iida a little bit left side on her putt, but it grabs nicely.
Finally tap in birdie. So Silva left out of the star frame here on hole 1.
We proceed to hole 2, par 4, 156 meters, although uphill pretty much the entire way, or at least the first half here. You have OB lining the left side, as well as trees to the right, as well as OB and trees long. You ideally play a long hyzer shape, something that does not spike or stall out, but pushes forwards and left. Anything leaving you close to this gap is an amazing shot. You then try to fire through those trees and up towards this basket with OB long and to the left. You need to manage your angles, but it can be done with 2 simple backhand hyzers, Andrew. You just have to keep it in balance. No surprise, I feel like that's the story of this course. It rewards good shots, it punishes bad ones, and it feels fair.
Definitely great course design. Slowly ascending uphill all the way on this one. And that corner creeps in. That OB there on the corner, should I say.
But a solid shot for Kaidi. She gave it a soft flex with a slightly more overstable disc. We see Anneli.
Oh, that looks early.
And a similar line to Kaidi's, but without the turn. She will find that OB, and I think rather early before the corner, which is going to pinch her angle significantly and how much distance she can get. We'll see what the card gives her.
That's the worst mistake you can make on this hole. Put yourself out of position and with the penalty stroke. But, I mean, you do want to try to turn that corner, but the straight shot also works, really, especially for the FPO basket. If you can just put yourself up in line with the basket, or at least with the gap.
Just like that?
Yeah.
As Silva did, that's certainly a viable shot. It just leaves you a little bit more distance on that low ceiling and gap that you need to beat, but it definitely plays. It's only 156 meters, as we said, so if you can throw a 90-meter shot up the hill that's probably feeling like 100, and then another 60 in, you're doing just fine. Anneli gets around the corner there.
There's the man of the hour. Finnish legend, Seppo Paju.
Watching the women of the hour. Silva here bleeds out left on the approach, out of bounds. Especially in the wind, you can see how quickly that can come into play. Kaidi with some options now in terms of her gap to hit. Opts for the inside with a soft turnover. Will leave her just outside or perhaps just inside circle 1.
Solid approach from Iida. Birdie look from inside the circle. Looking to go 2 for 2. Anneli trying to get up and down now for the bogey. Should work. Kaidi from about 8 meters. Yes. Quality stroke there. 2 through 2.
Really well connected, particularly on the putting green. She's looking super comfortable. Iida, on the other hand, normally a very strong putter. That one comes up short into the cage. I think from that position she had likely a headwind with a nose down putt will get slammed, with a nose up putt gets lifted, or even potentially a tail, which will of course also drop your putt. Anneli out with the bogey after the early OB. That is one of the best case scenarios, in all honesty. And we see the mixed bag here. Silva yet to get her first birdie. Kaidi finds it.
Yeah, all over the place here. Hole 3, par 3, 82 meters downhill. Mando to beat on the right. Very low ceiling. Got to match the disc angle with the sloping hillside down. Got to try to get a little bit of turn from left to right if possible. But the straight shot will do it too. And yeah, there you see the basket there.
And it is a tricky hole. It plays really nicely for a backhand turnover. The forehand shapes, I think, most naturally, but can really bring the OB right into play pretty quickly. That's why we see strong forehand players still go with the backhand. It's just a more technical shot to execute. Iida very strong here and just finds the wrong side of that line. One of the more short and simple looking holes, but is surprisingly and deceptively hard for being a downhill 82-meter par 3.
This looks very good. That's the line right there. The ideal shape. Gentle drift, left to right. Perfect height. You know, you got to kind of test that ceiling if you want to get all the way to the basket usually, unless you get some really good ground play. But the ground play is not exactly reliable, I would say. Sometimes you see some skips go different directions. A couple routes there, maybe.
Anneli opting for the forehand, does not get the full flex. That turnover catches her left side. We see the athleticism of Kaidi there from the patent pending. Floats it out under the low ceiling. Anneli, a very similar look.
Yeah, it'll do. So Iida after the OB, looking to save the par. Can she get it up?
And that was a pretty long putt. Would have been huge there to make that. But ultimately, she will still be even through the first three holes that all average over par.
Sweet birdie for Silva on the board. 1 down through 3. Just 1 stroke back. Kaidi here.
I sort of like proved to myself that I still got it. Whatever is meant to happen with me will happen. And what I want wants me even more. So I just have to be open to receive it.
Deanne Carey out there shredding. 4 down through 6. Shout out to her. And what do we see here?
This hole 4 is a long hole up the hill, only 211 meters by measurement, but plays probably closer to 250 or 260. However, it is a par 5. This initial shot shapes as a big hyzer. You get up the hill, out of the tunnel, around the corner, and into this field. You then battle this right-left sloping uphill fairway, as well as the bushes that line it both left, right, and in the very middle, you come up to this green where the basket is more on the left side and where the slope is pretty steep. You can very quickly catch a skip with a backhand shot coming in here, but let's say that it does play at roughly 250 meters. You could throw through, in theory, 3 85-meter shots and be right up there to play. So it doesn't need the most distance, but you just have to keep it clean in the fairway.
Yeah, definitely a placement shot off the tee. With that hillside, you know, you can end up fading out and going OB left, or, you know, trying to get too much and pushing it straight, going OB right side. So just want to put it out there in the fairway, progress from there, just like these ladies are doing.
This first shot is a great test of arm speed and a great demonstration. You're kind of forced to throw a pure hyzer. Anything that flips up to flat will quickly go OB long, where you see the gallery standing. And as I mentioned, because it's a one-angle shot, you get to see just how much they can push into that while restricted in shaping the disc. We go now to Iida, obviously the youngest player on the card. Tons of power, though.
Just such a clean form, you know, like the timing is so good, the reach back and the follow through, everything is just super solid fundamentals.
Silva going pure standstill here. I think looking to go right of the bush. Does need to get around it, and she does. She does. She looked worried for a second there. You see how many skips you can get, though, even with a disc that was not on that much hyzer.
And that bush is like a disc magnet, you know, it doesn't look big at all. And
It plays so in
really
the way.
that big.
It's really not that big, but it just plays so in the way. It's so well positioned relative to the fairway. You see these players going right of it and still almost going OB left.
Ooh, yeah.
Even playing with tons of width. It's very annoying, honestly, that tree. You want to throw some sick lines, and you're forced to do things like this to shape around it.
Oh, Anneli hit some. I guess there's one little like rock or something on the fairway there. She hit that, but it stays put. Might have cost her a little bit of distance on the skip, but it was a low forehand. It really needed more height to get the distance she wanted. And that's going to work out just fine. That's, you know, pretty ideal after 2.
Light work for Iida. This hole for the MPO plays as a par 4, and a lot of players who aren't the furthest throwing in the field are pretty happy with a 4 here. Not an easy hole for FPO, that 4, obviously playing as a birdie, but that's still not an easy feat to do. Shows the true high level of our FPO lead card here. Anneli has herself a look. We go now to Silva. Close enough once again to continue the standstill. I'd like to see the flip up there. Controls the slope a little bit, lands very softly.
Kaidi's approach, just a little bit short, but inside the circle.
She started 2 through 2, really hot start. Could be 3 through 4 with that putt. Lehtomäki currently at even through the first 3 after the previous bogey, and that will certainly play. I think that is the safe side to land on. Obviously the left is where the OB comes into play more often, so she's not parked, but I do like leaning towards the right of the basket. Maybe the hill filters you in. We go to Anneli's putt.
Oh, wide right. Kaidi's putt's been looking really good. She's got some gusty winds to deal with, and it lifts up on her right there. You saw the disc just rise right out of her hand.
You knew it, didn't you, Andrew? You foreshadowed that lift more than anything.
Did I?
No, I'm giving you a hard time. A great birdie putt by Iida there.
Yeah, great to see Iida get the putter warmed up.
And she's now 1 below for the round. That's honestly, through the first 4, totally reasonable.
For sure. She's been throwing excellent, just hasn't got the putter going yet, but it's good to see that now on hole 4. Fired up and ready to make some moves here.
Just like that, despite the missed putt, the par for Kaidi, and this short birdie putt for Silva now to get herself to 2 under through the first 4, matching Kaidi's pace.
Moving on to hole 5, par 3, 90 meters, 295 feet. Thick wooded shot here. You got to shape a shot. I guess the hyzer seems to be the best play around this gap right here that we see the drone flying, and then bringing it back in with the fade towards the basket. There is an inside line, but it's got a lower ceiling and it's more technical. But even the hyzer shot, it's not a lot of space there. You got to get it just right.
And this is actually a great view of the series of gaps you need to hit. There's one, there's two. And that third one, she falls just short of. That is the final one before the green. You need to throw at that V-shaped tree just over Iida's shoulder there and fade before it on the left. It is quite a precise line, but it looks like she's done it to perfection.
That's so good. Got it to hook up right on time, and there she is. And there's that wind ripping. We're heading up to the high point.
And they're a little bit protected in the woods here. Kaidi playing the straight line, doesn't turn it over fast enough. It certainly plays. The gap just feels a little bit smaller than the pure hyzer. We see this is the pure hyzer gap we are zoomed through. Anneli. Oh, I misunderstood the angle there. That was actually the straight gap. But regardless, she gets out into the green. Tough look for Kaidi here. There's so few options available to you from this spot. She's just trying to give herself some sort of chance. And that's about as much as you can do.
Definitely not where you want to be on this one. She did pretty well to put herself up there with a chance to save the par. But it won't be easy.
We saw that ripping wind. Every putt more than just a few meters becomes a little bit more complicated in these conditions. And as I was mentioning, they're protected in here in the tree line, but they're about to go to hole 6 where they are fully exposed to the wind. Kaidi, a chance for par from way deep.
Oh, gives it a really good bid. Catches the cage. And that swirling wind, it's pretty tough to control the putter. Deep breath from Anneli. Can she get the birdie? Ah, wide right again. Seems to be the miss from her.
Little bit of a late release out of the hand. Silva now looking back at the pin.
Yep. Putter's looking great from Silva. And Iida with a really nice birdie. Third one of the round already, so just that one bogey on 3 holding her back a bit. Still a great round. At 6 down where the leader started. They've now progressed to 8 and 7 respectively as Kaidi will take the bogey here.
Anneli tries to play the wind a little bit, feels it out. And I don't mind taking your time, a few seconds even on these shorter putts in the wind.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's valuable to overthink it, but you can find these lulls. You have 30 seconds, and sometimes that 5 seconds where you're initially ready is probably not the right one to putt in of your 30. So some patience can help you. It can also hurt you.
I think it's a delicate balance, isn't it?
They'll need to balance here their power, their hyzer, the wind, the landing. This island green par 3, 111 meters is really a fun shot. People are up here, they're throwing what feels like a huge rip. They're trying to land and spike into this very specific sloped green. The island, while really large, is surprisingly hard to hit, particularly in windy conditions. The majority of players are just going to throw an overstable disc wide out to the right and try to manage the width and power appropriately to land short right of the basket and either tombstone in or skip up to it. We go to Lehtomäki up first. She opts to go much more straight at it with a turnover, much more delicate line with the wind, but she knows her angles.
Great. This father-daughter duo is so wholesome. It just melts my heart. All right, this is such a beautiful game, you know, and when you get to share it with the ones you love, it's just that much sweeter.
Silva goes out to the right, Has it turned over? That wind should bring it back to the left in pretty strong fashion. And very reasonable as well. She also will fortunately be left with a tailwind putt. The most ideal putt in a very windy day. It is the least risky putt, let's say, compared to a cross or headwind. We go to Anneli. I'm not sure if this has the width, Andrew.
It flipped up a little bit too long, which is probably going to carry it a bit deep. Yeah, there you go. But not bad. It
The
did
width
come back
was
eventually.
actually pretty reasonable with the flip up and the wind ride. But as you mentioned, just a touch long. But again, putting uphill, a little bit less scary than putting downhill. It's just not particularly close. But also, I don't think this is a hole that they're expecting to park. I think they'd be pretty happy with 8 or 10 meters every time if they could have it.
It's pretty hard to control the disc all the way to the basket, especially in these conditions. You know, there's kind of so much that can go wrong. That's one of the things. You show the flight plate to the wind there, and it just blows it hard left.
And a zippy entrance for Kaidi gets her just outside the island. She proceeds from this drop zone.
Tricky one. You know, it's a
It's a touchy shot. You do. It's still a throw. It's certainly not a putt. It's certainly nothing you expect to go in. But it's a shot that you feel like you should execute pretty much every time if you're a top-level professional like these players are.
Sure. But at Kaidi, after that hot start, now it's going to be back-to-back bogeys here on 5 and 6, and just a little left, and then that crosswind didn't help it, you know, with the gravity to fall into the basket. It did hit heavy chains, but looked like it kind of wanted to teeter-totter, you know, in, but the wind just flopped it out. So, and Silva right in the heart. 3 down. Putters in flames. Starting to find her groove here. Starting to distance herself from the pack a little. This, for the bogey, is going to mean we have a 3-stroke lead for Silva Saarinen here on moving day.
Felt like it happened really quickly. I mean, the first 2 holes, we saw Kaidi jump ahead.
Yeah, 2 strokes ahead,
over Silva, and then now it quickly flips back.
5-stroke swing just like that in a few holes, really. Moving on to hole 7, par 4, 178 meters. Downhill again, but not as dramatically, quite subtle. You got a lot of trees on the right. You don't want to get stuck in there. There's also OB, but it's pretty hard to find. The tree's kind of protected against that. OB lining all along this left side. That comes into play quite more often. And then that turns left to right through this pretty kind of tight gap here with the low ceiling. And there's the pin. Not the longest par 4, especially with the downhill factor, but you really want to put yourself into that kind of landing zone where you have a shot into the basket, because you can definitely leave yourself out of position and have really, you know, not much to work with. So you don't really have to make too much of a move. You can throw kind of a straight shot, and that can line you up with it, or you can try to turn yourself into the gap a little bit more and have less on the approach.
To be honest, this shot does play really nicely for the understable backhand. It's just a difficult decision to trust in the wind to throw an understable disc. Silva has done very well. She gets the straight shot, finishes out to the left, opening up her angle. It's not the longest shot, but it's well positioned. To go now to Iida. And as you can see, lining the left side of the gallery was pretty healthy here on Saturday. Way more people than Friday, better weather. It is now officially the weekend, and a great energy in the air supporting, honestly, all cards, not just the lead cards, not just FPO or MPO, but felt like every hole there was a healthy crowd watching, enjoying.
Yeah, the Finns sure love their disc golf, and especially after that World Championships we saw last week, the whole community is in high spirits and really buzzing for this game. We had well over 100-strong gallery, you know, from the start, and it grew steadily as we moved forward. Great shot there. See if Kaidi can turn things around, get off the bogey wagon and back on the birdie bus.
She might turn it around. She didn't turn the disc over, but it is still enough.
Decent position.
Play. Absolutely. You can see without the turnover, her distance was a little bit lacking, so she's up first. but it's only 178 meters. This is a tough shot, though. She'll need to hit that gap perfectly, move around the corner left to right. She needs it to go straight and late fade, and she's done it flawlessly.
Nice work. In the bullseye ring. Back on that birdie bus. Way to go, Kaidi. Let's see if her fellow Estonian can do the same. She's had quite a few pars, but clips the tree there, and that's most likely not going to be a birdie.
Iida looking to shape an Enheiser backhand. This is a highly technical shot. Needs to get everything right, and simply the initial width was not enough, but it does get through, and it is within putting distance. It just, I think without those leaves, could have been those extra meters closer, giving her a higher probability putt, but she's up there. And we go to Silva, still bogey free.
Putting some good turn on this. Trusting her angle control and her disc selection.
Wow.
Right by the basket. Beautifully done. So now Anneli's in a pretty tough spot, actually, even to get up and down. These willow trees can be quite obstructive. They have, you know, quite often many trunks all clustered together. They can be quite the obstacle. There you see some of that gallery.
Quiet, please.
A lot of them are here to see this young talent. Iida Lehtomäki, 11 meters. Hearts it.
Such a smooth putting stroke. You can see she's very slow and intentional with her movements, and then puts together the timing at the moment she needs to generate spin and speed. That is a well-crafted putt right there.
Yeah, nice and flat. Nice kind of like momentum shift from the back to the front, and just puts it right on point. Kaidi gets that birdie. Silva just tapping it in to go 4 under. After what seemed like a bit of a slow start. You know, I mean, par, okay, that's not bad, but...
She has now officially birdied the majority of the holes that she's played, 4 through 7.
Yeah. On a great pace.
And another very nice birdie opportunity here. Another one of the shorter par 3s, 88 meters, hole 8. This shot has a soft downhill. It's flat initially, and then as you pass this tree coming left of frame, it drops pretty significantly to the point where you can just see the upper half of the basket from the tee. This is a shot that deceives players into throwing a left to right shape, where a straight shot will do the trick. It can be backhand, it can be forehand, it can be putter, mid-range, fairway driver. All that matters is that you're able to execute within the width and the ceiling provided to you, and then control the distance. It probably plays closer to 75 or 80. Iida, absolutely incredulous of our cameraman. You love to see it. And Silva, let's see if she can continue to shred this course here today.
Yeah, that's right there in her range. Circle's edge. Yeah, another low ceiling touch shot. This is a little bit low. Yeah, and it's going to leave her pretty far back. See how aggressive she decides to be there. There is some woods behind. If you go long, you can be obstructed. It's a good looking line. Yep, right there. 5-6 meters.
Anneli, a string of pars through the last 5. An opportunity to break that here with a birdie, and that will certainly play. You don't want to go long in those trees. It can give you a tricky putt even from short distance, but I think she's close enough to the edge. It will work.
Oh.
Lehtomäki floats that one out just a little bit. I think sort of a half bid there, Andrew.
Yeah, a bit too much hyzer. Trying to give it like a safe run, but maybe left the nose up a bit too much. Oh, off the band. Healthy bid for sure. She's disappointed not to get that one. I feel like that's the first putt she's missed, though.
Oh, shit. There you see the greatest of all time catch cam, Maxence. There is no competition to his speed and prowess on the catch cam. You can quote me on that. We go to Anneli from the looking from the woods deep, and you saw the compromised putting there. She had to go over those branches and used a lot more wrist. Oh, who are these young guns? Giving kisses to the camera.
We're all getting a little bit silly after a few months on the road. Having some fun, though, too. There's a lot of great people that work in the disc golf media business, for sure. Solid stroke there from Kaidi. Back-to-back birdies. That's what we want to see. That's what champions do. Find some struggles, turn it around. Back on track.
Just like that, it's looking like the par. Both Lehtomäki and Manniste. Silva joining the par club. And both Kaidi and Silva, the same amount of birdies so far this round. Only those 2 bogeys are what separate them currently. Going into hole 9, this par 4 is 131 meters. You're looking initially slightly uphill. You have a gap to hit. You have to get it between the big tree on the right, the entrance on the left. And anything near this branched tree center fairway is a good spot to be. If you can fade left of it, that will open up the angle most ideally, but even as the drone flies is sufficient. The fairway then bends over to the right, wrapping softly uphill the entire way. It says 131. It's probably playing something like 150, but it's really all just about the tee shot, whether or not you'll give yourself an angle into the green. Straight at that tree in the middle. If you can, a little bit left of it, anywhere near it will play.
Yeah, there's really 2 main trees to deal with here. There's the dead willow there that you have to get around, and then there's that guardian willow on the green, just left of the basket.
And truly a flawless drive from Kaidi. That is exactly the shot you would like to see. Let's see if Silva can recreate it. This one's a little bit lower.
It's in the fairway, so that's all right. You know, like you said, it's not the longest par 4. I mean, what Kaidi did was special. If you can get past that tree, that's brilliant.
And but left, past it and left. That's really, as I mean, I think it's actually a perfect shot by Kaidi there.
Oh, indeed. Yeah, I totally agree.
Silva's was good. It will play for birdie. It's just going to be a little bit harder. For Iida as well, I would say the same. That's probably enough progress to have a chance. It's just going to be a harder shot. We go now to Anneli. She has some good power on the backhand. And I like this. She's getting to that tree. She's moving left late, or rather a little too early.
Just a little high, yeah, as well. Caught the branch. I guess the height was okay if it would have been more right, for sure. But yeah, faded a bit early. Now she's got the forehand. Oh, that's a pretty good shot. But it gets gobbled up by that guardian tree. Going to be pretty obstructed in there. Stand still. Anheuser. Oh, fights through that guardian tree and puts herself right near the basket. She'll have that putt to go 5 down through the front 9.
Very snappy throw by Iida here. And pretty smooth. She is just 7 or so meters away. Of course, given that this is only 131 meters. Look how open this shot is for Kaidi. Let's see if she can execute after giving herself such a nice opportunity.
Oh, it stays in her hand a little bit. Pretty far wide right. Kind of an unforced error after the perfect drive. Should have been a pretty routine up and down. Now she's going to have to work for it. She's going to need a C2 putt to connect the birdie. Anneli has to just pitch up. Concede the par. Like I said, those willow trees are just quite obstructive. There's so many little small like clusters of branches or trunks, perhaps. Iida for the bird. Nicely done. She's got 5 birdies on this front 9. Just that one bogey. So the Finns really playing well.
Super solid. And 8 of those front 9, Andrew, averaging over par. Yesterday it was 9 of 9. Today, hole 3 averaged just 0.15 of a stroke below. But the other 8 averaging over par. To shred it like this, be 5 under by Silva, 5 birdies from Iida. It's pretty impressive start relative to the field right now. Not to gloss over Kaidi's strong start as well. Anneli puts that in for yet another par. She's just keeping it even, both for the round and I feel like her golf, you know, she's not throwing the best shots in the world, but she's not making many significant mistakes either. And sometimes that's enough to keep you in the game. As we take a look at the standings, Silva leading at 11 under, Iida and Kaidi tied at 8 under below her, and Jenny Karppinen in 4th at 5 under.
Yeah.
It's still early, Andrew. This is the halfway point of the tournament now. We're back to that 3-round format, and it's an exciting time to be up in the leaderboards and to be here watching and commentating this with my boy, Andy G.
Oh, it's so nice to be here in the booth with you and watching this great MDG coverage. And we really appreciate all of you, everything you do to support us out there and for being along to watch. It's a ton of fun. We are at the halfway point. Look forward to seeing you on the back 9 here on moving day at the Turku Open 2025. See you there.